heroin, meth, LSD, peyote. What do these have in common with being a Schedule I drug and marijuana? Well, according to the DEA, a Schedule I drug is defined as drugs, substances, or chemicals that are no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. But marijuana doesn't seem that bad. How did it end up being listed right next to heroin, which is known to kill thousands and cause addiction severely? Hi, my name is Helen Emmett, and I will be discussing why marijuana should be legalized and decriminalized in 3 points. Main point 1, we will discuss the history behind marijuana and its prohibition, which will lead to main point 2 on why it should be legalized in the first place. And finally, main point 3, which are the benefits and the issues that I have found when using cannabis. I am passionate about the credible uses of medical marijuana. I have inhaled, I have ate, I have used topicals, I have used everything. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse over what I've done. But I wanted to firstly discuss why the prohibition existed in the first place. According to osu.edu, it says that Americans were using marijuana tinctures and such, but smoking it was unheard of. It was unfamiliar until the Mexican immigrants came in the early 20th century. That introduction, in turn, generated a reaction from the U.S. loaded with anti-Mexican xenophobia, which is a fancy word of just saying they were really, really racist. It was stated that smoking marijuana was done by lower-class immigrants. The association of murder, torture, mindless violence was not born from any event that actually occurred, but blossomed from the vivid imagination of journalists. So with the success of the prohibition against alcohol, all narcotics were deemed next. They wanted all of them gone, from cocaine to marijuana to alcohol to meth, all of it. So that leads me to my second point. 178,000 die each year. Heart disease, liver failure, cancer, stroke, and 200 more that we know of for sure that can be listed off. Every day, 37 people die in car crashes by an impaired driver. 37 people per day. Pregnant mothers cannot drink due to fetal alcohol syndrome and many other birth defects. It causes excessive addiction in its users, but it's not even a Schedule I drug. It's not even a scheduled drug. It's not even on the list. Because cannabis is not legal, there isn't too much research on it health defects wise, but multiple sources say it can be linked with respiratory diseases when smoked. But what if you were a nauseated cancer patient going through chemotherapy and you ingested it? Maybe put a little topical cream on it, you know? According to cancer.org, people who suffer from the side effects of chemotherapy, like my father, can greatly benefit from it. It increases the appetite while depressing nausea. It can reduce the number of hospital visits for already at-risk patients. It also helps with severe nerve damage, pain, and freeing up time for patients to focus on other things like actually getting better. This leads to my final point, which is everyone can benefit from medical marijuana when correctly used. Opiates are narcotics too, which cause severe intoxication and addiction, yet doctors still prescribe it to patients for severe pain. I believe with the right control, doctors' help and knowledge, and legalization and decriminalization, we can help people suffering from severe anxiety, cancer, major depression, PTSD, and even schizophrenia. Without being legal, hundreds of thousands are missing the benefit. The only downside that I have been able to research and find is the psychological dependence, which I think is an obsolete argument. People smoke nicotine with obvious psychological dependencies, but it still helps them cope with the stresses of everyday life. The good outweighs the bad, And without it being for recreational use, we still waste resources to put petty drug dealers behind bars. If it was recreational, that drives the need for illegal sources out. No one is a cigarette drug dealer. No one bootlegs alcohol anymore. So, my final conclusion is that it's only illegal due to the prejudices right now, not concrete evidence and statistics. We could reduce the number in prison for petty drug charges while increasing the number of benefited people like my dad with cancer. Today we have discussed the racist history of cannabis, debated its uses, and finally concluded who entirely benefits from it. Thank you for watching.